Clutter can be confusing. For someone living with dementia, too many objects in a room can quickly turn into a maze. Chairs stacked with magazines, end tables crowded with knickknacks, or shoes scattered across the floor aren't just inconvenient, they can make a person feel unsafe in their own home. Even simple tasks like getting from the living room to the kitchen can feel overwhelming when the space feels crowded. A cluttered room can cause hesitation, anxiety, and even accidents. But there's another side to the story. Small, intentional changes can completely transform how a space feels. When a room is clear and easy to move through, it offers calm instead of stress. Imagine being able to spot your favorite chair right away, to walk without worrying about tripping, or to see exactly where your essentials are. These changes aren't about creating a perfect home, they're about creating a safe, comforting one. A home where every step feels guided, not blocked. That's what dementia-friendly minimalism is about, not taking away memories, but removing confusion so that what's meaningful can truly shine. And here's the best part, you don't need to start big. Even the smallest shift, like moving a stack of papers off a chair or designating one safe spot for your keys, can begin a ripple effect of peace. If calm and safety matter to you or someone you love, please like this video and subscribe so you don't miss the steps we're about to share. Elwood is 74 years old, a retired city bus driver from Michigan. For more than 3 decades, he guided passengers through snowy mornings, busy downtown streets, and quiet evening routes. People remember him for his warm smile and his habit of humming along to the radio while he drove. Retirement gave him more time to enjoy the simple things he always loved, sitting by his living room window with a cup of tea, listening to classic Motown hits, and waving at neighbors as they passed by. His days are quieter now, but he still finds joy in those routines that make life feel steady. In recent years, Elwood has been living with mild dementia. At first, it showed up in small ways, misplacing the television remote, forgetting where he put yesterday's newspaper, or feeling unsure about which kitchen drawer held the silverware. Over time, those small moments began to add up. What used to be a comfortable home started to feel less predictable. Piles of old magazines made the living room seem smaller. Shoes left by the doorway made him pause before stepping forward. Even the closet, once neatly packed with work shirts and Sunday bests, started to feel overwhelming when it came time to choose what to wear. But here's where his story takes a hopeful turn. With a few small adjustments, Elwood began to feel more at ease. His daughter suggested trying simple changes, nothing complicated, nothing that would take away the things he loved, but steps that would make the house safer and calmer. Together, they discovered practical ways to keep the environment supportive without stripping away the comfort of home. Elwood still hums to his favorite music, still enjoys the view from his chair by the window, but now he moves through his space with more confidence and less hesitation. As we move forward, we'll follow Elwood through 7 gentle strategies that helped him. Each one is rooted in real life, easy to imagine, and focused on keeping dignity intact while creating a safer, simpler space. His journey will show how minimalism, when done thoughtfully, can be a powerful friend for someone living with dementia. Tip 1. Clear the walking paths. Elwood's first challenge wasn't about forgetting where things were, but about moving safely through his own home. One winter afternoon, as he walked from his favorite chair toward the kitchen, he paused. A stack of newspapers leaned against the wall, a pair of boots sat just a little too far into the hallway, and his balance suddenly felt uncertain. He gripped the side of the wall for support, not because the distance was far, but because the clutter made each step feel risky. That moment stuck with him. His home, the very place meant to feel safe, had become an obstacle course. For many seniors living with dementia, even small items on the floor can become invisible hazards. A slipper left by the bedside, a basket pushed halfway into the walkway, or a pile of magazines waiting to be sorted may not look dangerous, but they create moments of hesitation. And hesitation, when combined with unsteady footing, can lead to accidents. The truth is, our homes should guide us, not block us. When pathways are open, movement feels natural. When objects interrupt, even a short walk can become stressful. The solution is simple but powerful. Create clear, open walking paths. Imagine drawing a line from your chair to the hallway, or from your bedroom to the bathroom. That invisible line should be free of clutter. Items that don't belong on the floor, shoes, bags, laundry, stacks of papers, can all find a new home in a basket, a small shelf, or a corner bin. This doesn't mean throwing things away. It means placing them where they won't interrupt movement. Elwood's daughter brought in a small woven basket and placed it near the entryway. Now, instead of leaving his shoes in the middle of the hallway, he slips them directly into the basket. The magazines he likes to glance at go neatly into a holder by his chair instead of being left in piles along the floor. The change was immediate. The first time Elwood walked from the living room to the kitchen after clearing the path, he noticed how much lighter he felt. His steps were steady, his breathing calm. He no longer had to stop and think about each object in his way, he could simply move forward. This first step in dementia-friendly minimalism is about more than tidiness. It's about dignity. Open pathways mean fewer trips, fewer stumbles, and more confidence in moving around independently. And independence, even in small doses, builds a sense of pride. Elwood doesn't feel like his home is working against him anymore. It feels like it's on his side. Take a moment to look around your own home right now. Is there one place where a shoe, a bag, or a pile of mail makes walking feel less free? What's one thing on your floor you can move today? Share it in the comments, and let's celebrate the small changes that bring us all closer to safety and peace. Tip 2. One spot for essentials. For Elwood, one of the most frustrating parts of his day wasn't the big tasks, it was the small ones. He would get ready to step outside for a short walk or prepare to sit down with a book, only to realize he couldn't find his glasses. Some days it was his wallet that went missing, other times it was his keys. These weren't lost forever, they were just misplaced, on the coffee table one day, on the kitchen counter the next, or buried under yesterday's newspaper. Each search felt longer than it should, and each one chipped away at his confidence. He began to feel anxious whenever he needed to leave the house, worried that a last-minute hunt would leave him tired before he even got to the front door. This is a common experience for seniors living with dementia. The daily essentials, small but necessary, don't always stay in the same place. The result is a cycle of searching, forgetting, and repeating. And while caregivers often see this as a minor inconvenience, for the person experiencing it, the stress is real. It can turn a simple routine into a draining ordeal. The solution is both simple and powerful. Designate one permanent spot for the items you use every single day. Elwood's daughter introduced a small wooden tray, placed on the entryway table right by the front door. That tray wasn't fancy, but it became his safe zone. Each evening, when he took off his glasses, he set them there. Each time he came home, his wallet and keys went straight into the tray. And the next time he needed them, there they were, no searching, no stress. This single habit brought an immediate sense of relief. Instead of starting each outing with confusion, Elwood began with calm. He described it as feeling like his home was helping him remember. The beauty of this tip is that it's not about memory alone, it's about environment. By making the environment predictable, Elwood could succeed without having to force his brain to keep track of everything. That predictability is the heart of dementia-friendly minimalism. The home itself becomes a gentle partner in daily life. What's especially helpful about this strategy is how flexible it can be. Not everyone prefers the front door. For someone who spends most of their time in the living room, the tray might belong on a side table next to their favorite chair. For another, the nightstand may be the most natural place. The key is consistency, one location, every single time, no exceptions. Think about your own home, or the home of someone you love. Where would the essentials tray fit best? Would it be by the door, ready to make leaving the house simple and stress-free? Or by the chair, waiting to keep reading glasses and remotes close at hand? Share your answer in the comments, and maybe your idea will inspire someone else to find their perfect spot. Elwood's story proves that it doesn't take a big renovation to make daily life easier. Sometimes, it's as small as a tray by the door, one steady anchor in a world that can feel unpredictable. Tip 3. Gentle color cues. One of the simplest but most frustrating struggles for Elwood was with his evening medication. He kept the small white pill bottle on his kitchen counter, right next to the sugar jar and a few other containers. Every evening, when it was time to take his pills, his eyes scanned across the countertop, and more often than not, the bottle just blended in. He would stand there, uncertain, scanning again and again until frustration set in. On more than one occasion, he almost skipped the dose simply because he couldn't spot it right away. This is something many people don't realize. Dementia can make it harder for the brain to process visual clutter. When everything looks similar, even familiar objects seem to disappear. That's where color can become a silent but powerful helper. Instead of relying on memory alone, color offers a visual shortcut. It tells the brain, "Look here, this is what you need." Elwood's daughter noticed his struggle and decided to try a small experiment. She swapped out the plain white pill container for a bright blue box that was large enough to catch his eye. Suddenly, the medication stood out against the beige counter. The first evening he saw it, Elwood smiled and said, "That's hard to miss." From that day on, his evening routine became smoother and calmer. But the strategy didn't stop with medication. They began using color as a gentle guide throughout the house. The television remote, which often got lost among the dark cushions, was placed in a small red tray on the side table. Mail, instead of being scattered on counters and chairs, was tucked into a cheerful yellow folder marked letters. Each color served a purpose. Blue meant important for health, red meant easy to grab quickly, yellow meant things to look at later. Over time, these associations became natural. The beauty of gentle color cues is that they reduce the mental load. Instead of needing to think or search, the eyes simply follow the color. This builds confidence, independence, and even a sense of accomplishment. Elwood didn't feel like he was forgetting less. He felt like his home was giving him friendly reminders, guiding him without judgment. This isn't about turning your house into a rainbow or making it feel childish. It's about choosing a few simple, consistent colors to highlight the most important items in daily life. Bright, solid tones work best, shades that clearly contrast with the surfaces they are placed on. And the consistency matters. The same color should always mean the same thing, so the brain learns to trust the cue. Take a look around your space. Is there something important that often blends into the background? Maybe your glasses disappear on the nightstand, or your phone charger vanishes into the wall. Imagine giving those items a bright, unmistakable home color. It's a small adjustment that can reduce stress in a big way. For Elwood, this change meant peace of mind and smoother evenings. And while colors helped him throughout the day, the next tip completely transformed how he started his mornings. Stay with us, because what you'll hear next is the shift that made Elwood's days brighter right from the moment he woke up. Tip 4. Less clothing, more comfort. For Elwood, mornings became one of the hardest parts of his day, not because he didn't enjoy the quiet or his cup of coffee, but because of one small, daily challenge, his closet. Over the years, his wardrobe filled with decades of clothes, old uniforms from his bus driving days, Sunday suits, winter sweaters, and plenty of shirts collected along the way. Standing in front of all those choices felt overwhelming. What should have been a simple decision, "What do I wear today?" turned into a slow, frustrating process. He would pull out a shirt, then put it back. Try to match pants, then hesitate. The closet became less about comfort and more about confusion. This is a common struggle for seniors with dementia. Too many choices can feel like too many decisions. The brain tires quickly, and what should take minutes stretches into half an hour of stress. Decision fatigue doesn't just slow down mornings, it can set the tone for the entire day. A rough start in the closet often leads to anxiety that carries into breakfast, errands, and even rest time. The shift came when Elwood's daughter suggested a new system: simplify the closet. Instead of leaving every piece of clothing in view, they carefully selected 5 outfits: his softest flannel shirts, 2 pairs of easy-on pants, and a comfortable sweater he loved. The rest of his clothes were stored neatly in bins, labeled and tucked away. Now, when Elwood opened his closet, he wasn't met with dozens of options. He was met with familiarity and ease. This didn't mean saying goodbye to special clothes. His Sunday suit stayed safe in a garment bag. His old bus uniform, filled with memories, was preserved in a keepsake box. But his daily choices became less about deciding and more about enjoying. Getting dressed no longer drained his energy, it gave him a sense of control and confidence. The beauty of this approach is that it respects both comfort and dignity. Clothes aren't just fabric, they carry memories, identity, and personality. The goal isn't to strip those away, but to make daily dressing a calm, empowering experience. When only a handful of favorites are within reach, the closet becomes a friend, not a source of stress. Take a moment to picture your own closet, or a loved one's. If you had to pick 5 outfits that are comfortable, easy to put on, and make you feel good, which would you choose? Would it be the sweater that feels like a hug, the soft shirt you always reach for, or the pants that never pinch? Name one favorite outfit you'd keep in reach, and let it be the first step toward calmer mornings. For Elwood, this change turned his mornings around. Instead of standing frozen in front of too many clothes, he now hums a tune while slipping into a shirt he knows he loves. And that small shift, less clothing, more comfort, helped restore peace to the start of his day. Tip 5. Labels with pictures. One afternoon, Elwood wanted to put on his favorite Motown record. He walked to the cabinet where he thought the sleeves were stored, pulled open a drawer, and instead of music, he found a jumble of kitchen towels. He shut it, tried another drawer, then another. By the time he located the right one, he wasn't smiling anymore, he was frustrated. It wasn't that he didn't remember owning the music, it was that the cluttered drawers all looked the same. The experience chipped away at his confidence. Something as joyful as music had turned into a puzzle. This moment revealed an important truth. For someone living with dementia, even the most familiar spaces can start to feel confusing when everything looks similar. Drawers, cupboards, and boxes often blur together. When trial and error becomes the only way to find things, frustration builds, and independence slowly fades. But there's a gentle, practical solution, one that helps the eyes and the brain work together: labels with pictures. Elwood's daughter decided to make this change. Instead of small words written in fading ink, she printed large, bold labels. But here's the key: each label included a simple picture alongside the word. The kitchen drawer had a fork and spoon icon with the word utensils. The sock drawer carried a picture of a sock, easy to recognize at a glance. The music cabinet had a cheerful note icon with the word records. Suddenly, Elwood didn't need to open 3 drawers to find what he wanted, he could see it right away. The difference this made in his daily life was striking. With labels in place, Elwood no longer felt like his house was testing him. Instead, it felt like his home was giving him a hand, guiding him gently toward the right choice. That little bit of independence brought his smile back. The labels didn't just help him find things, they gave him the dignity of doing it on his own. The power of labels with pictures goes beyond convenience. They cut down on repeated questions, reduce unnecessary searching, and create a sense of control. They also help caregivers, making routines smoother and less stressful for everyone. Best of all, labels can be created at home with little cost: sticky notes, index cards, or even printed icons taped neatly to drawers and cabinets. What matters most is clarity, large print, simple language, and a clear image that stands out. If you're thinking of trying this in your own space, start small. Choose the drawer or cupboard that causes the most confusion. Maybe it's the one with kitchen tools, maybe it's the drawer for mail, or maybe it's the place where favorite hobbies are stored. Add one clear label and notice the difference it makes. So here's a question for you: which drawer in your home needs a picture label first? Share your answer in the comments. It might inspire someone else to start their own path toward more confidence and independence. For Elwood, those small icons restored joy. Now, when he wants his records, he finds them instantly. The frustration is gone, replaced with music and the freedom to enjoy it on his own terms. Tip 6. A memory basket. Elwood has always been sentimental. Over the years, he collected little reminders of his life: photographs of family picnics, letters from his late wife, postcards from old friends, even church bulletins tucked into jacket pockets. Each item held meaning, but slowly they began to scatter. A photo on the kitchen counter, another tucked under a newspaper, letters left on the arm of his chair, a birthday card sliding behind the lamp. Instead of bringing him comfort, the scattered memories created moments of stress. Sometimes he'd stumble on a picture when he wasn't prepared for the emotions it carried. Other times, when he wanted to share a memory, He couldn't remember where he had last placed it. This is where the idea of the memory basket came in. Rather than letting meaningful items spread across every surface, Elwood's daughter brought him a single, sturdy basket, wide enough to hold photos and letters, but small enough to stay by his favorite chair. Together, they carefully gathered the scattered memories, setting them neatly in the basket. The rule was simple. This basket was only for special keepsakes, nothing else. Newspapers, keys, and mail had their own places. The basket was for treasured moments alone. The effect was immediate. Now, when Elwood sits down in the afternoon sun with Motown playing softly in the background, he can reach into the basket and find a photo album or letter without searching the entire house. His memories are close, accessible, and contained. The basket not only prevents clutter but also turns reminiscing into a calm, intentional activity. He no longer stumbles on keepsakes accidentally, they're right where he wants them, waiting for when he's ready. The memory basket does more than organize, it creates emotional safety. For someone living with dementia, memories can feel fragile. By containing them in one comforting place, you give the gift of predictability. The basket becomes a bridge between the past and the present, something that sparks joy without overwhelming the room. And for caregivers, it means fewer frantic searches and more shared, meaningful moments when it's time to connect. Creating a memory basket is easy. Any small basket, box, or container will do. The key is consistency, one location, always the same purpose. It doesn't need to hold hundreds of items, just a handful of favorites that bring peace and familiarity. This way, the home remains uncluttered while still honoring the importance of cherished objects. Imagine the difference this could make for you or someone you care for. Instead of spreading photos and letters across tables, bookshelves, and drawers, what if they all lived in one safe spot? The next time you want to revisit a memory, it's right there, ready to be shared. For Elwood, this simple shift brought back his smile. He no longer worries about losing precious reminders of his life. They are gathered neatly in his basket, ready for the moments when he chooses to relive them. And as we'll see in the next step, sometimes the real magic comes not from where things are stored, but from how we approach tidying itself. One last step turns tidying into a gentle rhythm. Tip 7. Short and gentle sessions. For Elwood, one of the most discouraging experiences came on a Saturday morning when he decided to clean his entire living room at once. He gathered up magazines, bent down for shoes, shifted piles of mail, and tried to dust in between. After only 20 minutes, his back ached, his breathing grew heavy, and frustration set in. By the end of that attempt, he wasn't proud of what he had done. He was exhausted, overwhelmed, and left with half-finished tasks. The clutter wasn't gone, and worse, the effort drained his energy for the rest of the day. This is a common challenge for seniors living with dementia. What seems like a small project can quickly become physically tiring and mentally taxing. Long stretches of cleaning often end in fatigue, confusion, or irritation. And when exhaustion sets in, the memory of that struggle can make someone hesitate to even try again. That's why one of the most important principles of dementia-friendly minimalism is to think small, work gently, and build consistency over time. The approach that helped Elwood was simple. Instead of tackling everything at once, he began using short, gentle sessions. His daughter introduced what they called the 10-minute tidy. The rule was easy to follow. Set aside just 10 minutes, play a favorite song or two, and focus on one small area. When the timer or music ended, he stopped, even if things weren't perfect. After a short rest, if he still had energy, he could do another round. If not, the work was already a success because it was manageable and stress-free. This rhythm completely changed how Elwood viewed cleaning. He would put on a Marvin Gaye record, sway a little to the beat, and pick up items from the coffee table. In another session, he might sort the mail into its folder or place shoes into the basket by the door. 10 minutes didn't feel overwhelming, it felt achievable. And when he finished, he wasn't drained. He was energized, proud, and more likely to do it again later. The benefits of this method are powerful. Physically, it saves energy and prevents the aches that come with overexertion. Mentally, it breaks the cycle of stress and discouragement by creating small wins. Emotionally, It turns tidying into a routine that feels rewarding instead of punishing. Over time, these short sessions add up to major progress, and because they are tied to music or simple rituals, they become something to look forward to rather than dread. This strategy is not about speed or perfection, it's about rhythm, calm, and dignity. Each session is enough on its own, and together, they create a cleaner, safer, and more supportive home environment. Now imagine applying this in your own life. Instead of thinking about decluttering the entire kitchen, what if you just gave yourself 10 minutes to clear one counter while your favorite song plays? Or 10 minutes to fold the laundry you see in front of you? It's not about doing it all, it's about doing what feels good in the moment. So here's the question for you: what song will you play for your first 10-minute tidy? Share it in the comments. You might inspire someone else to start their own rhythm of gentle progress. For Elwood, this was the final piece of the puzzle. Short and gentle sessions turned cleaning from an exhausting battle into a routine that kept him moving, humming, and smiling. When Elwood first began this journey, his home often felt like a puzzle he couldn't quite solve. A pair of shoes blocking the hallway made him hesitate. A pill bottle hidden among kitchen clutter left him unsure. Closets packed full of clothing drained him before the day even began. Every misplaced letter or scattered photograph added to the feeling that he was losing control of his space. But after putting these small, thoughtful changes into practice, the atmosphere of his home shifted completely. Instead of confusion and stress, he began to experience calm and reassurance in the very same rooms. One afternoon, as he settled into his chair by the window with Motown playing softly in the background, Elwood summed it up in his own words: "I used to feel lost in my own home. Now my home helps me." That simple statement carried so much weight. He wasn't just talking about organization or tidiness. He was talking about a deeper transformation, moving from frustration and doubt toward peace and confidence. His home, instead of being an obstacle, became a gentle partner in his daily routines. This is the heart of dementia-friendly minimalism. It isn't about stripping away every object or erasing the past. It's not about empty rooms or a sterile environment. Instead, it's about keeping what truly matters: those photos that make you smile, those clothes that feel comfortable, those keepsakes that bring back warm memories, while removing the things that confuse, overwhelm, or cause hesitation. It's about designing a space that gives freedom instead of fear, clarity instead of clutter. The key takeaway is simple yet powerful. Minimalism for seniors with dementia is about safety, dignity, and comfort. It allows independence to flourish, even in small ways, and creates a home that supports rather than challenges. By clearing pathways, assigning one safe spot for essentials, using gentle color cues, simplifying choices, labeling with pictures, gathering memories into one basket, and tidying in short sessions, the home becomes less of a maze and more of a sanctuary. And this message isn't only for Elwood. It's for anyone navigating dementia, and for the caregivers and family members who want to help without taking away independence. Every small change is an act of love, a way to protect both memories and safety. So here's the wrap-up to hold close: keep what matters. Clear what confuses. Make room for safety and peace. If this video touched your heart or sparked an idea for your own home, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with a caregiver or family member, and subscribe to Wise Aging Seniors for more calm, simple guides that honor both the challenges and the beauty of aging with dignity.